Here is the last lesson in our Unit 1. And this is a math task. And a math task is generally kind of a culmination and project for everything we've learned so far. Let's see what we're doing. We are rounding and addition. So we're going to be doing some rounding and some adding. 5 runners competed in a long distance race. Here are the finish times for each runner. Okay, on the left side we have runners 1 through 5. And on the right side we have how many minutes it took each of them to complete the race. 62 minutes for runner number 1, 64 minutes for runner number 2, and so forth. We can see them listed. Okay, so that's the information that we're given. And then we're asked to explain how the results of the race would change if the race used a clock that rounded to the nearest 10 minutes. So if each of these times were rounded to the nearest 10 minutes, how would that change the results of the race? Well, I think we should try. I think we should round each of these to the nearest 10 minutes, and let's see what happens. I'm thinking we can use the same number line for all of them. All of them are at least, let's see, we're rounding to the nearest 10 minutes. And our lowest one is 62. So let's go between, let's do 60. Well, looks like we're going to need a 70 here. And then we're going to need an 80. So we've actually gotten a couple things because 62 is our lowest and 75 is our highest. But we want to make sure we have all 3 10s. So let me choose a different color. And let's choose, let's just say, let's choose green for number 1. So number 1 is 62 minutes. Well, 62 minutes is between 60 and 70. Oh, it's probably right about there. I'm not going to worry about it. Would that round to 60 or 70? I forgot to put the halfway points in. Let me do that. Halfway between 60 and 70 would be 65. So 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. It's very handy to count by 5s to determine midpoints between 10s. Okay, so runner 1, well, that rounds to 60. It's closest to the 60. I think that's pretty clear. So we'll just put 60 over here. Runner 2. Runner 2 will be pink. Runner 2 ran 60, it took 64 minutes. Let's try plotting that. 60, 65. Okay, well I know 64 is less than 65, so that's probably about here. It's still below the halfway point between 60 and 70, so that's going to round to 60. And I think I should put that arrow for the green one as well. Runner number 3. Runner number 3 will be, let's go with this color, 65. Oh, that's right here. Oh, but remember, anytime we're between, exactly halfway in between, we're going to round up to the nearest 10. So this one would be 70. Runner 4. Let's try this color. It's a little close to the other one, but not quite. Runner 4 is 71. So this is 70. This is 75. So we can count 70, 71. Oh, that would be, that'll be right about there. And is that closer to the 70 or closer to the 80? Well, it's lower than 75. So it would round to 70. And for runner 6 will be purple here. 5. Runner 5 will be purple. Runner 5 is at 75 minutes. Oh, that's right in the middle here. And so if we're rounding to the nearest 10, we wouldn't round down because our rule is that if it's 5 and over, or if it's at the midpoint and over, we would round up to 80. So, explain how the results of the race would change if the race used a clock that rounded to the nearest 10 minutes. Well, we can see that almost all of their times changed, every single one. Who would be the winner if we were just counting actual minutes? Well, these are in order, 62, 64, 65, 71, 75. So the winner would be the one with the lowest minutes. So the first time, if we're counting actual minutes, runner 1 is the winner. But what if we go by rounded minutes? Who is the winner? Well, there would be 2 because these two both have 60. So there would be 2 winners. Number 1 would be a winner and number 2 would be a winner if we were using a clock that rounded. So we'd have a tie for first. Oh, look, we'd have a tie for second. And then we'd have a last. So how would the results of the race changed? Well, I think the most practical way the results change is that I would have a tie for first and a tie for second instead of the people that were actually the shortest. They wouldn't get credit for being the shortest. So I think something to really think about here is that sometimes it's better to round things, but sometimes, like in a race, you really might want to go with actual times, especially if you're watching the race and you can see that one runner is clearly ahead of another, but yet if you're rounding, you're calling it a tie. That would not be appropriate for a race. But if you're doing grocery shopping or if you're talking about sums of different types of things, there are times when rounding does make things easier. This was an interesting question, wasn't it? I hope this was helpful. Thank you.